country song. I thought I'd dance my last with poverty. I finally made it out and broken free. Now a pile of debts are staring back at me. Try paying with IOUs from friends and family. Feels like I'm living in a country song, with everything in life going wrong. Been down and out for far too long. Feels like I'm living in a country song. I'm losing my home, family's moving soon. I've got 3 weeks till the 1st of June. No idea where I'm gonna find a room. Credit's trash, the bill collector's suing. Feels like I'm living in a country song. Everything in life going wrong. Been down and out for far too long. Feels like I'm living in a country song. Looks like every door's closing in my face. I'm a one-legged man in a butt-kicking race. Lord, I could use some grace. It's gonna take a miracle to find a place. It's gonna take a miracle to find a place. Feels like I'm living in a country song, with everything in life going wrong. And down and out for far too long. Feels like I'm living in a country song. I know when destruction comes our way, it's clearing out what doesn't need to stay. There's always gonna be a delay between when we receive and when we pray. But the Lord, I just got to say, feels like I'm living in a country song, with everything in life going wrong. Been down and out for far too long. Feels like I'm living in a country song. Lord, if this is you preparing ground, please show me there's hope to be found. I'm praying someday my life will rebound. Until then, keep me safe and sound. Feels like I'm living in a country song, with everything in life going wrong. Been down and out for far too long. Feels like I'm living in a country song. Oh, I'm living in a country song. Oh, I'm living in a country song.
Oh, 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 oh. You're here for a reason. You're no accident. You're the answer to a problem. You were heaven sent. You're the only one who has what it will take to be that answer. Make no mistake, and I'll tell you now. You're here for a reason. You're no accident. You're the answer to a problem. You were heaven sent. You may be feeling like you're all alone, just a tiny pebble in a world full of stone. But I'll tell you now, you're here for a reason. You're no accident. You're the answer to a problem. You were heaven sent. Deep down inside you, waiting to be free, is the power to save the world in me, but I'll tell you now. Here for a reason. You're no accident. You're the answer to a problem. You were heaven sent. Oh, 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 oh. Love.
Alright, that's enough music. So, it's time to get ourselves going for reals, folks. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to Blender. I gotta mute myself because hearing the echo back is driving me crazy. But alright, so here we go. Welcome back, welcome to Blender. We are gonna do 2D animation stuff tonight, which is their grease pencil. So I'm gonna click into that. And that brings us up to a drawing board. Alright. Let me pop out the chat again so I can see y'all. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Snake Eyes is fun. Snake Eyes is very apocalyptic in nature. Write your story, though. Actually, I could probably play that if I wanted to. I could pop it up in here and everything, but we'll get to drawing. Alright, so we are going to be entering into Blender. You guys... You're not hearing me? Okay, that's weird. The window capture is on, the mic is on, but for some reason it's not really... Huh. Are you hearing me now? Are you hearing me now? Okay. So is anybody else hearing me? Let me know if you guys can hear me in the chat. Oh, I may have messed with the audio for some reason, for some way. Okay. Okay. I'm talking.
Yeah, it's super low.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
A little more. You want it to be up in the yellow box.
How do I get the controls out of the way so I can actually see what I'm doing?
Back up just a little bit.
We have our technical support technician available on hand, thank goodness. Here to help me diagnose, troubleshoot, and fix whatever problems are in my life. At least during stream.
Oh my god, why is your... How's this DPS so messed up? Oh, it's because your controls aren't actually in the controls.
Okay. Alright, so let's see if that's better.
It's better, but it's not there still.
I'm not sure what's going on with the audio. Now we're going to try and see if that's better. Sorry guys, I know we're...
It's better, we'll have to fix it later.
We are having audio issues. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. So can you hear me? Woo! Pop a few hearts off if you can hear me, because, that'd be great. Or say, yes, I can hear you. Let me know if my audio is working for you, so we can actually get this show on the little old road. I don't know what happened. Writer's block is my enemy, keeping me from my destiny. Lord, don't you hear my plea? Help me reach the end of my story. Oh, wow. Okay, so we're about 10 decibels low. That's not good. Well, yes, we'll have to fix it later. I'm glad that you can at least hear me now. Bueller. Okay. Let's see. Is that better? Still better? You said I was about 10 off, so I adjusted it 10 up. Is that gonna work? Now you can. Well, that's good. Okay. Well then. All right. So thank you guys for bearing with me while we work through technical difficulties. I feel like tonight we're going to work on a character, but the question I have is, what kind of character are we working on? Would you like a character for a real person, a place, or a thing? Let's see. I guess I could start a poll. What kind of character? I get mineral, vegetable, or animal. Person. Critter. Let's see. I mean, it's pretty simple, right? You have a person or an animal or whatever. Fictional character, all right? I have an idea. Are we making this guy or a girl? That's a good question, too. Male or female? Yeah. We could make a cryptid. We could make a humanoid. We could make, an animal. Animal! You folks are animals! A monkey. Oh, okay. Gonna give Sven a run for his money, huh? Alright. Whoop! Eek, eek, said the panda. Let's see if we can find a cute little monkey. Monkey! There we go. That'll work. Alright. A girl monkey. Okay. I'm certainly an animal in the drum kit. Yeah, I imagine, buddy. Alright, so we're going to be using our pencil. We're just going to be sketching her. The nice thing is that animal monkey faces are not that dissimilar from human faces. Just got bigger ears that take up more of the face. Gorilla. Okay. Well, that's definitely a more specific monkey. Let's see. I guess I could change that out, literally. Yeah, we'll do this. I'll start over. Because they've got very different looks to the monkey that I was working on. But it's all good. In the neighborhood. We're all right. We're okay. Gorilla. All right. Let's see. Keeping it real. 100%. Oh, really? Oh, thank you. I could be. If I had a visual reference for what you're looking for. Staring at the monitor for ages, warm with blank pages, writer's block coming in stages. Writer's block is my enemy, keeping me from my destiny. Lord, won't you please help me reach the end of my story? Oh, I am capable of using my imagination, that is true. But it helps if I know what we're looking for. Because while I can use my imagination, it's obvious that there's something you've got in mind. It's a lot easier to produce an acceptable output for that if you know what the person is looking for. Whereas otherwise, you're just sort of shooting your shot in the dark. It's one of the things I say about AI is that the best use for it is as a visualization aid, helping the client and the artist communicate with each other in a way that's far more productive in the long run than just trying to guess at what each other means. Long tail, not as bulky. Okay. And are we looking for stylized, or are we looking for more realism? Because if we're looking for stylized, we've got a lot more room to play with. Whereas if we're looking for realism, we're sort of restricted. Hey, stylish purple people eater. Hey, Cal. Good to see you. No, no, no. That's not gonna work. It's the Cal B and Rocco Show. A great place for you to go. Speaking of Cal B and Rocco Show. How is Rocco tonight? I don't know what the heck this is. It's not turning out very monkey-like. Yes, Shark Boy. We had a lot of sharks on Saturday's stream. That is for certain. If you ever needed a shark fix, I recommend you go and look at the replay for Cal's stream. It was Sharknado. Shark Central. Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know what you would think of that, me doing it. I know you guys had your own jingle, so I didn't know what you'd think of me doing one. But I just thought it would be great to act as kind of a promo for you on my channel if we had something like that. You're the happiest monkey in the history of monkeys ever. By the way, this program that I am using tonight is called Blender, and specifically, I am using Grease Pencil, which is their 2D drawing part of the app, and it works quite well. So if you ever get so inclined, it is free to download. It is open source. You don't have to pay anything to use it, so it works quite nicely. You're right, Cal. Not sharky enough. Not gonna make it on your stream, I'm afraid. Look, the only way to get good at drawing, quite frankly, is to draw, to embrace the suck, and not to be afraid to be bad at it. I have not always been good at it. like almost everybody else in life. I actually have a book that I did called I Wish I Could Draw Like That. And it's literally walks you through my journey of learning to do art, because I sucked, just like everybody else in this world. When I was little, I did not come prepackaged as an artist. And you have to suck. All the suckage you do teaches you how to do it well. But most people stop when they suck because they don't want to suck. We'll give her a long tail, Malachi. I have decided that I am going to learn to make my own music jams this year. Gonna put some real effort into it. Learn to make my own tracks and things. So be prepared for that, because I'm probably gonna bring y'all with me on the journey. And you're gonna see how I have to embrace the suck for the music end of things, just like y'all would have to embrace the suck if you wanted to be good at art. For those of you who aren't, some of y'all are already good. Some of y'all, not so much. And it's okay, you know? It's okay to not be good at something. Yep. If you become... I have actually worked as a commercial artist for Fortune 500 companies, and just, well, I'll tell you the story of what caused me to walk away from doing graphic design for Verizon Wireless. I started there working as a temporary in 2007, and they were paying me $13 an hour. They didn't hire me as a graphic designer. They hired me as a supply closet maintainer. In other words, it was my job to monitor the supplies in the closet, make sure we had enough for all the promotional things that we were doing in the marketing department, yada yada. And when I got hired and brought on, I noticed that they were making their promotional flyers, get this, in PowerPoint. And I was like, you're kidding me. You're seriously making promotional flyers in PowerPoint? And they're like, yeah. And so I said, well, okay. Would you mind if I took over creating those? Because I was trained in graphic design, and believe me, y'all need the help. And they were like happy. They were thrilled that I was willing to do that for them. And so then I ended up getting basically paid. When my pay increased from 13 to 18, because I told them that's how much I needed to stay, and because some things were going on in my life, and they agreed to that. And I worked for them literally for 2 years without any kind of signing any kind of contract or anything, because I was a temporary. My assignment was only supposed to be 4 to 6 weeks long, and it kept getting renewed every 4 to 6 weeks. Fancy that. But they wouldn't hire me on permanently because they didn't have the budget for it, they said, which was odd. I mean, if you have the budget to pay a temporary, you probably have the budget for a full-time employee that's gonna cost you a lot less. But hey, you do you, boo. Any rate, so then they finally realized, oh, we haven't ever gotten her to sign a contract, and it's customary for us to have our graphic designers sign this contract, so we'll just put this out there and she'll sign it like everybody else does. and, you know, it'll be all kosher. And they put the contract in front of me, and the contract required me to sign away the rights to all of my intellectual property, not only for the time period that I worked for them or as it related to my position, but any of my intellectual property and for a non-specified period of time afterward. Hey, Vinny. And I said, hails to the no. So I called and I was like, okay, so this doesn't say that it's restricted to just the stuff that I do for you guys. Can we get that written into the contract? No. Can I take this to a lawyer and have them review it? No. I was like, oh, okay. They said, basically, you got to sign it or you got to turn in your badge and your phone and you're gone. I said, oh, okay. That's the game? All right. So I walked over to my boss and I hand her my badge and my phone. And she said, what are you doing? Where are you going? And I said, I was told I have to sign this contract or leave. I am not signing the contract, therefore I will be leaving. And she said, you can't leave. I said, I was told that I have to. And she was very upset. And then she goes, well, just sign the contract. I said, I'm not going to sign the contract because it demands that I hand over all of my intellectual property to Verizon Wireless. And quite frankly, you're paying me $18 an hour, not $1,800 an hour. And you don't have the right to have all of my intellectual property. And she said words, and this is what told me I knew I'd be making the right decision. Well, what do you have that's worth anything anyway? Just sign it. It's like, oh, you don't know me. You do not know me. I write songs, I write books, I write poetry, I design artwork and fabrics and clothing and all kinds of things. And I am not signing this. I am not giving Verizon Wireless ownership over everything I create. It's not happening. So I turned in my badge and my phone and I walked out the door that day, not knowing where another source of income was going to come from, but just knowing that there was no way in heck Verizon Wireless was going to get what I had to offer on a permanent basis. That was just not going to happen. And I have not regretted that decision. I will tell you this much. All right, so now I've got it sketched in, basically. It's time to pull up a new layer and ink it. There we go. There's our layers. Pop. Hit that plus sign and you've got a new layer. It's amazing. So that is how I ended up walking away from an $18 an hour job with no regrets, because I was not even close to gonna do that. And I know a lot of people would have just signed it, but I think that's how corporations have trained us to not see our value, is to not value what we create. And the truth is, the reason they have you sign those is because they do value what you create. If they didn't, they wouldn't want you to sign it. They wouldn't care. No worry, Vinny. This is a monkey, a girl monkey gorilla. Sort of a hybrid. A little sleeker than your average gorilla, a little thicker than your average monkey. And we are using Blender to create this instead of, say, Photoshop or Illustrator. Because when you use something like Blender, you can do something like turn this into an animation very easily, or you can use this as like a character sheet creator, and you can do a character turnaround and or create a 3D model with it. There's a lot you can do with Blender that you just can't do with like Illustrator or something. So it gives us more ramp room for working on this project in the future. Yes, indeed, her parents were outcasts. Perhaps they met at a zoo. That seems a likely thing. You know, one night the gorilla gets into the monkey cage and, well, monkey business ensues. Ha, 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 ha. Yes, I went there. Yeah, Blender is free and it's definitely worth learning. It comes with a bit of a learning curve, but the nice thing about it is there are so many tutorials for it on YouTube that you can get. This is specifically grease pencil for 2D animation, and then they have their 3D animation, which we'll explore at a future point. It's great for creating video game characters, animations, 3D models, you name it, it can do a lot. You can even edit videos in it, but the video editing part is a lot clunkier. Monkilla. Yeah. Mongrilla. Get my daughter to check it out. She's been using Procreate, but having the ability to animate sounds like a lot of fun. Oh, it is actually. Once you get used to the controls, once you figure out how it works, yeah. The ability to animate is fun. There's a lot. And like I said, the nice thing about Blender is that it is free to use. You just download it and you don't owe them anything further. Now, is it nice to support them? Yes, because they're open source, so they rely pretty much entirely on the money they get from people giving voluntarily. They're not like, they don't have a paid subscription type thing. So it is ideal if you pop a few bucks in there every now and then. But you don't have to. Alright, let's delete the line because we don't need that no more. And there we go. There's our clean artwork. And now, this is, we can actually, we have to close the line. Yeah, she wants all the banana juice. She needs all the banana juice. She's a big girl. You know, you can't go light on this stuff. So one of the nice things we pop into edit mode, we can take a look at our lines and make sure they're all connected the way they should be. We can delete any lines we don't need, clean up things. Here we're going to look at the points and get rid of any that we don't need. And a simple animation is one just like that you move it in and you move it out. And if you set those on keyframes, that's a simple process. So we're going to delete some of these little points that we don't need. Forgot, what is it? There's specific strokes. Oh, she definitely from the hood. Like I said, I almost think that probably what happened is that, you know, gorilla snuck into the monkey cage about the, you know, right time. And there was some monkey business that happened. Who can blame them? Well, you know, you gotta have stories to go with your characters. You gotta explain their origin points. Why are they the way they are? At least that's me. Can't just have characters running amok with no stories. Can't remember the command to join them. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, that's cleaning up some of those extra dots that we don't need. Every extra point in there that you don't need, woohoo, just janks up the amount of space it takes when you're trying to save these. So it's always good to get rid of, simplify. What you don't need. Oh, nope, that's a little too simple. She might. She definitely got a heavy weight to her. She's got some, she's a little thick. But, you know, some guys like that. Who knows? That is another nice thing, is that when you're in this edit mode, you can literally select a point and move it where you want it without touching the rest of it. So if you got line work that's messy and you need to clean it, dissolve, it's gone. But hey, she's got a nice smile. She's happy. She's not an unfriendly mongrilla. Just, don't mess with her bananas, that's all. She's not trying to tell you what to do with your life. She just doesn't want you to mess with her bananas. Oh, we messed up her foot. Did you notice that? Her other foot. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Let's go back to drawing mode. So we can fix her foot, which has now absented itself. Yeah, you gotta hit that plus sign and just drag in, and then you'll be zooming in all in no time. I suppose if I want even cleaner line artwork, I can do is pop a new layer in here and be less sketchy about my tracing. Yeah, you're the ultimate in sketchy. The best way to get over something you're having difficulty drawing is to draw it 1,000 times. I literally had this guy who was talking to us. It was at a convention, an anime convention. And he was talking about the fact that when he first started working for one of the big anime studios. Uh-oh, we lost our line art. Oh, where did my little pin go? Oh, where could she be? She's not wanting to draw no more. What's the matter with you? There. Now maybe you'll behave. Nope. Still not liking it. There we go. That's better. Let's do this. Hey, it's Keith. Good to see you, my man.
Noise.
Oh no, my husband is coming and making noise in my studio.
But to make up for it, I come here gifts.
You do? Oh, he bring me Werthers. I know that's love. That's real love right there. He doesn't sacrifice that for very many people.
I need to open the new trash bag, so I'll try to do it in the other room and be less loud.
Trash.
may be trash. Remember, I live in a garbage can, not a garbage cannot.
That's beautiful. All right. We're going to erase this. Start over. And turn that back on. I'm going to erase this because it's funkifying things. All right. Oh my goodness. I could probably draw Ziggy from memory just about. That little guy. He just wanted to be loved. He was so funny. I got him one of the big cookies because I accidentally pulled that one out when I was down in the kitchen. And he took it and accepted it. And then he walks over to the back door and he's looking at me like, yeah, open up. Open up the back door. That's right, human. Good human. Open up the back door. And I didn't at first because I was like, Ziggy, it's cold out there. You're not going to want to stay out there and you're going to bark. And but he wouldn't leave the back door. He was like, no, this is what I want. And I know if I stand here long enough, you're going to give it to me. I was like, all right, fine, Ziggy, fine. You win. You win, my dude. It's your house after all. I am just a guest. Who's going to argue with the dog of the house, man? But then he had his neighbor out there, Lloyd. He was barking and tearing up a fool with, so I had to bring him back in. If only he had not done that, he could have stayed out a little longer. He's an adorable dog, though, really. The last dog that I owned, my son was about 4 years old. And we owned a pair of them. We didn't intend to own them. They were originally puppies that our neighbor's dog had. And we came home one day, and the neighbor's dogs, the male and the female that were mom and dad, had parked themselves on our doorstep and did not want to leave. And they brought their puppies with them. And they kept bringing them over. And animal control came and got the adults and several of the other puppies. We couldn't keep them all. But we rescued 2 of them from animal control's clutches. Anna and Mort. Sad to say, they did not, we could not keep them for long. We didn't end up staying in that place for long. That was, what am I talking about? There have been bouts where we've been financially stable, but for most of my life, we have been a financial disaster. Derp, 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 derp. Now that you got done with Outer Worlds 2, you're going back and playing Shadow of the Tomb Raider? Nice. Oh yeah, Planescape Torment was awesome. I played the heck out of that game. And yes, I used to be a massive gamer. I really don't spend much time gaming anymore because I just don't have time. Too busy creating with love to have time for gaming. Although I say that, I have 5 different games that I have mostly completed and plan to finish this year. Oh, look at how adorable her little face is. Oh man, there are some cats that no matter how much attention you give them, it will never, ever be enough. We had one cat, I swear, that if I had taped up on a door frame somewhere a cat brush, he would have gone bananas and spent his entire time up against that cat brush. He just loved being brushed so much. He was a very long hair orange cat. And I think the orange cat says plenty about being a little bit nutso. And yeah. If you really want to be able to easily color your drawings in Blender, one thing you have to watch, is closing your lines. Because anywhere you don't close the line, it's going to fill with pigment. All right. See you again, Cal. Thanks for stopping by, man. I totally appreciate it. I'll check my email for what you sent me. We're not going to be hanging out drawing for too much longer. We got Booby's stream to be prepped for, and I don't want to wear everybody out. We got to have excitement for the rockin' chat, you know. The Ubi fan club must be energized. Cats have started playing on your drum kit. That's a cat for you, man. Everything's available for them. That is one thing I do very well is eyes and faces, generally speaking. It's because when I was 13 is when I first learned how to do faces, and for the longest time, I really didn't do much else. Faces and hair, that was my thing. And I only learned figure drawing when I went to the Art Institute and got better about that. And I went there, I wanted to take game art and design originally, but my company that I was working for would only reimburse me for something that they had a position for. So I had to take graphic design instead to get the tuition reimbursement that they offered. So that's how I ended up getting a part of a graphic design degree. And then had a come to Jesus moment in my life, and literally, and I kind of ended up dropping out of my graphic design classes to enroll in getting a elementary education degree. And then when I completed the associates in elementary education, but couldn't afford the student to take the year off for student teaching that it would required, I switched over to being a game art and design major on my own dime. Yes, I am using a stylus, actually. Oh, that's nice. That's really cool. Glad you've gotten those offers, Malachi. It's a good way to grow your channel, doing things like that. Collaborations, interviews, letting people know you exist, letting people know what you've got to offer. Those are all really good ways to build your channel. Yes, it's a Wacom Pro. I picked it up for $50 on Facebook Marketplace. Best investment ever. I will tell you a funny story though. The first time I used it, I had had a lot of really yucky experiences with trying to use drawing tablets in the past, so I wasn't sure it was going to work out. It's one of the reasons why I wasn't really wanting to invest a whole lot of money in this. I wasn't sure it was going to work for me. And so I get the tablet home and I decide, you know what? I am going to embrace the suck of learning to use this thing and getting used to it and adjusted to it. And so I take it out and it's just not quite cooperating with me. It's wonky, it's difficult to use. I'm super frustrated, but I'm pushing my way through it. And then Ubi comes out and takes one look at it and says, "Baby, it's upside down." He put it right side up and it worked perfectly. Oh. You're not looking to grow your channel? Well, okay. I mean, that's fair. Not everybody wants to. And if you don't, you don't. Me, the only reason I really want to grow my channel is I want to reach more people and help more people. So that's my motivation. But I can respect people don't always want the same things. Yeah, I think now I'm going to show you. This is actually, I should erase that fill in. Is that on though? Yeah, okay. Now this is where we get to go fill. We can come over here, pop in a material. Where is my materials tab? New. There we go. Just do a new material and we'll make this a solid. So we'll take off the stroke, do a fill, pick our color. What color is our lady gorilla here, Malachi? Or anybody, actually, I don't care. You know, you're all here. You get to participate. You gets to communicate. Oh, no worries. Boop. See? That's how that works. Where your area is closed, it's going to just fill in the whole thing. We come back in and undo that because we got to fill in the eyes first. So we're going to come over here. And we're going to make the white of the eyes. And a boop. And a boop. And a big boop. And then we'll come back to brown. Maybe a little darker brown for those eyes. And a boop. And a boop. And now we're ready. Doo-doo-doo. Where are our layers again? There we go. And come over here. Oh. Reddish. Give her stripes. Oh, that would be an interesting girl for sure. She'd be like, "What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? What happened to you?" Ma, you don't want to know. You don't want to know. It's terrible. It's terrible. Terrible thing. Boop. Ugh. Did it again. We gotta bring those eyes up onto their own layer, I guess, really. Or I'll just, color in. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that, Oop. That wasn't what I meant to do. Not quite working the way we planned. All right. I am looking at the time, and it is about time to shut it down for this evening because we have an ooby stream to go to. And I cannot be hogging up his people. That would be so rude of me. Really. Truly. Marker. That's good. Why are you not working, my dude? Oh, I forgot to put the fill in there. Okay. Let's make sure we get this. Fill. Ugh. Whatever. I'm just gonna have to basically come over here, I guess, and fix it in a different way. So lame. Oh my goodness. Thanks guys for hanging out with me. We'll work on fixing our monkey next week and fleshing her out. You guys, it's great having you with me. I really appreciate it when you're here. It is fun for me. I hope it is good for you, and I hope that you learn something. I hope that you get an experience that you wouldn't get otherwise. So we'll save her as the monkey. The monkey, eek, eek. And let's see, drawing and chilling, there we go. And a new folder. Monkeys. Monkey business. Once we get her colored, I'll show you some of the animation stuff. And perhaps have better remembered some of the stuff I need to remember. Mongrilla. Yes, and I love you too. All right. Thank you so much. You guys have a great evening. Pop into Ubi's. Let me make sure that I have Ubi's stream pinned so you can find it easily. So you guys don't have to work so hard to find him. There we go. Choo 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 choo. There we go. Good job. I'm such a goof. I am such a goose. Okay. And I will see you soon. Y'all have a great rest of your evening.